All right, so we're gonna get started today in a comfortable seated position. And gently closing the eyes, allowing yourself to slowly sink into this grounding and centering beginning meditation. So with our eyes closed, we are looking within. We are clearing the mind, freeing ourselves from any outside thoughts, allowing ourselves to be completely present in this moment, enjoying this time here together, and allowing ourselves to be open to receiving whatever healing energy is waiting for us within this class, in our practice here tonight. So we're allowing ourselves to be open to receiving that healing energy mentally, physically, and spiritually. The body is relaxed. The muscles of the face are softened. The jaw is unclenched. Feeling that wave of relaxation rippling all down our body. From the top of our head, all the way throughout to the tips of our toes. With every breath we breathe in, we are welcoming peace and calm. And with every breath we release, we are releasing any stress or tension that we might be holding on to. Releasing that dis-ease so we can welcome in that wonderful healing energy. All right, so here let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling the lungs with that fresh air, feeling the lungs lift up and expand, and releasing the breath through the mouth, feeling the chest sinking down, feeling our hips sinking down and anchoring us down into the ground. Again, nice deep breath in, drawing that breath in through the nose. And exhaling, releasing the breath. One more deep breath in. And exhaling to release. So here, let's start to bring some movement into our bodies. We're just gonna circle our head, so we're creating a little semicircle with our head. So first starting off to the shoulder, circling our head down and forwards, and lifting our head back up to the opposite shoulder. Releasing any of that tension that we might be holding on to with the neck. And slowly lifting the head back up into the center. And then we're moving down. We're just gonna slowly circle our shoulders backwards. You can do both of the shoulders at the same time, or you can do one at a time. So kind of just whatever feels more comfortable for your body here. And again, let's focus on the breath, allowing the mind to be clear. We're freeing ourselves from any of those distracting thoughts. Focusing on the movement, focusing on our breath. And again, relaxing the shoulders back down into the center. So from here, we're going to be opening up our right leg. So we're opening up that right leg, keeping our left leg bent in. Feeling both of our hips firmly grounding down into the mat. Taking a nice deep breath in, let's reach our left arm up above our head. We're creating length within the body, creating length within that lifted arm. And as we exhale, we're slowly coming over the extended leg, keeping our chest nice and open here. That left shoulder is pressing back to keep our chest open. And we're keeping both of our hips firmly grounding down into the floor. Breathing into the side body, feeling that release in the side body. And on our next inhale, let's slowly lift back up. Nice big reach here in the center. And exhaling, melting that left arm down. From here, we're twisting our upper body to face that extended leg. Deep breath in, elongating the spine. Exhaling, hinging at the waist, folding forward over that extended leg. Our hands are reaching towards the foot, chin tucking inwards towards the chest to allow for that nice rounded back here, fully releasing over that leg. Keeping both of our hips firmly grounding down into the mat here so we can get that nice full stretch all the way throughout the body here. Slowly lifting up, we're walking our hands in, lifting our chest up, and untwisting our back. So now we're switching our legs, so we're bending the right leg in, opening the left leg up. Taking a moment here to firmly ground our hips down into the mat, because we want to keep those hips pressing down. All right, taking a nice big deep breath in, let's reach that right arm up above our head, feeling that length within the vertebrae of the spine. Exhaling over the extended leg. Deep breaths into the side body, feeling that right hip pressing down, feeling that arm coming over the left leg. Breathing into that side body, allowing those muscles to release and relax. And on our next inhale, let's slowly lift back up. Nice big reach into the center before melting that arm back down. Twisting our body towards the extended leg. Deep breath in. Exhaling, coming over. And again, we're allowing for that full release over this leg. The entire body is relaxed. The muscles of the face are softened. Just really feeling that release. Slowly lifting back up, walking our hands in. Untwisting our back, so we're coming to that forward facing position. Now we're going to bend our left leg in. We're going to press the bottoms of our feet together here. Again, feeling our hips sinking down into the mat. We're gonna take our elbows and our forearms, gently pressing down on our inner thighs here. Using our breath to our advantage to aid us in these positions and poses. So we're sending that breath down the midline, down the spine, into the hips. We're feeling those hips opening up, relaxing. Slowly lifting up. We're going to transition into a position on our hands and knees. All right. We're feeling the palms of our hands pressing down, and here we're just going to rock side to side with our hips. So we're kind of loosening up those hips a little bit more, creating some movement within the body. Just gently rocking side to side. Pausing in the middle here, coming in to our cat-cow pose sequence. Taking a nice big deep breath in, we're rounding our back up, tucking our chin in towards the chest. Exhaling, pressing down, releasing into that cow pose, arching the back, lifting the chin. Inhaling, slowly lifting up into cat pose. Exhaling, pressing down. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, pressing down. So here we're going to be continuing these movements at the pace of your own breath. So just following your own breath, moving at whatever pace it directs you to go in. Really connecting with our bodies here. Just finding our own natural rhythm. Getting that nice stretch throughout the abdomen. Feeling that chest opening up with that cow pose. And really reaching the spine all the way up in that cat pose. So we're finding the full expression of these positions, getting that really nice stretch. And from here, we're going to come back into our tabletop pose here in the center. So we're meeting back here in the center. We're going to tuck our toes under. So here we're going to prep for our bear pose, which is kind of a prep for our downwards dog. So we're feeling the palms of the hands connecting with the mat. We're tucking our toes under, and we're flexing or activating those abdominal muscles here. So that's going to help us find our balance and some strength here in this position. And we're also keeping a nice neutral neck here. So our gaze or our drishti is looking down towards the mat, maybe just right in the center, a little ahead of our fingertips. And bringing our focus in here, let's take a few breaths in and out. Okay, now whenever you feel ready, we're just going to slowly lift those knees off of the mat. So we're hovering the knees off of the mat, and we're going to feel some strain in the muscles of our arms, our legs, and that core. So we're just breathing through that. This is going to help us get really strong and sturdy in our downwards dog. So while we hold this position, we're kind of just feeling that we're trying to get our weight evenly distributed across our hands and our feet here. And let's gently lower the knees back down. Take a few breaths here. Maybe circle out the hands. So now we're going to slowly come into our downwards dog. So first coming into that bear pose, hovering the knees. And then we're slowly lifting the hips up, keeping that neutral neck, neutral spine. So our dristi is looking behind us past our feet. And again, just making sure we're keeping our weight evenly distributed in this downwards dog position, right? So across our hands and our feet, we want our weight to be in the center here, at the peak of our triangle. Deep breaths, sending that breath all the way throughout the body here. And we're slowly lowering our knees back down, untucking the toes. Let's send the hips backwards, bowing down into a child's pose. So we're allowing our body to fully relax here in this position. If you have your forehead pressing down into the mat, you can gently rock your head side to side. Sometimes that can be really nice and rhythmic and meditative. So you can try that if you'd like. So here in this position, our main goal is relaxation and restoration. So we're feeling our hips opening up and releasing down towards the feet. We're feeling our arms growing heavier, feeling our breath and our heart rates beginning to slow a little bit more. Really diving deep into that relaxation. All right, so from here, again, we're going to be lifting up into that tabletop position. Tucking our toes under. Taking a few breaths here as we feel our body in this position. Keeping that mindfulness in our practice. And again, slowly lifting up into that downward dog. And then here we're going to move around with the position however feels good. So you can pedal out the legs, rolling on to the balls of your feet maybe, coming onto those toes. Maybe bending the legs and stretching them straight. Maybe nodding the head up and down or shaking the head back and forth. So we're really playing around with this position. Nice deep breaths as we hold this pose. We don't want to be holding our breath here. We want to keep that fresh breath circulating through all of our body, energizing our muscles and our cells. And again, let's slowly lower back down to the mat, finding that child's pose again, bowing the head down. So from here, we're going to slowly lift back up. So we're coming through our tabletop pose. And we're gonna bring our hips all the way forward. So we're coming into our Sphinx pose here. So we have our legs stretched straight behind us, and we are resting here on our forearms. So we're allowing our chest to be open here. The heart is lifted. We're feeling that pressure on the forearms. I'm just taking a moment here to feel the position, arriving here in this position. All right. So we're going to take our hands directly beneath the shoulders here with our fingers pointing forwards. And again, before we even continue, let's try our best to relax those shoulders. We're feeling our elbows kind of squeezing together in towards our body. And then slowly we're going to lift up, but we want to keep the fronts of our hips connecting down into the mat. So just very slowly lifting up. We probably don't even have our arms stretched straight all the way, so we have that nice bend in our arms still, and we're still feeling our hips pressing down into the mat. And let's come all the way up, lifting those hips up. We're coming into that full cobra, or upwards dog rather. And again, trying our best to keep those shoulders nice and relaxed here. If you want a little bit of a challenge, you can lift the legs all the way off of the mat, just balancing on the tops of the feet here. So you're going to feel that nice big stretch down the abdominal muscles, feeling slight compression in that lower back. Let's bring the legs back down, slowly bending the arms, lowering the chest all the way down to the mat, stretching our arms in front of us. And then allowing the head to relax down into the mat. So let's just take a few moments here in this position and just allowing the body to melt, relaxing down into the floor. Giving all of our muscles a break from holding our body up all day. All right, and here we are going to do our hip opening stretch. So we're going to bend our right leg out to the side. So we feel that hip opening up. You can always place a pillow under the bent knee if that makes this position a little bit more comfortable for you. But here our goal is to fully relax into this position. So we have our head relaxing down into the mat or the floor. And we're just allowing ourselves to find the most comfortable variation of this pose so we can fully release and relax. So this is kind of moving into more of a restorative pose where we're taking props if we need to, and we're holding the position for 1 to 2 minutes, really allowing ourselves to sink into that pose. That's going to let us really deeply stretch the muscles and create a lot of that muscle memory. All right, so from here, we're gonna slowly stretch that right leg again, straight behind us onto the mat. Giving ourselves a moment to allow that leg to release back down into the mat. And now bending the left leg out to the side so we're opening up that hip. And again, using whatever pillows or props or bolsters you need to make this position nice and comfortable. So we're feeling that left hip opening up here. And we're allowing ourselves to settle down into this position. Right, and from here, we're slowly stretching that left leg straight behind, allowing the leg to fully release down onto the mat behind us. And just taking a few moments here to hang out here on the mat. Alright, so we're going to bring our hands back under our shoulders. So we're lifting our chest up. Our hands are directly beneath our shoulders with our fingers pointing forwards. And we're just lifting up onto our hands and knees. And let's come all the way through into a seated position on the knees here. Okay. So we're going to start here by taking our fingers intertwining our fingers behind our back. And let's just stretch our arms as straight as they can go, as straight as feels comfortable. So we're feeling our shoulders and our shoulder blades squeezing together here. We're feeling that chest opening, heart lifting. Feeling that nice stretch down the arms, into the shoulders, maybe in that chest. All right, and releasing the arms back down. Let's give them a gentle shake. Okay, so now we're gonna lift our hips all the way up. So we're coming in to our camel pose here. So let me see if I can reposition all this kind of so you can see a little bit better. So here, we're gonna have our toes tucking under, kind of anchoring us into the mat. You can leave your feet flat down if that feels more comfortable. But typically when we're starting out in the camel pose for the first time, it's better to have the heels lifted up a little bit more and have those toes tucking under. So while we're moving into this position, we want to focus on our hips pressing forward. So we have our hips pressing forward here. And let's start by taking the palms of our hands to our lower back with our fingers pointing down towards our butt. All right. In here again, so we're focusing on bringing those hips forward, almost like we're keeping our hips directly above the knees. So this nice straight line here this whole time. So we're pressing our hips forward, and let's slowly open up the chest to the ceiling, and let's let that head relax a little bit. So this is a nice prep for our camel pose here. You can see if that feels comfortable. And again, we're focusing on keeping those hips pressing forwards. And then if you feel nice and comfortable here, you can see if you can maybe drop one hand down to the ankle, and then maybe dropping the second hand down to the ankle into a full camel pose. And again, if that is too much of a stretch, you can keep the hands directly on that lower back. We're keeping our hips pressing forwards and bringing one hand onto the lower back, then the next. And then we're very slowly and controlled lifting back up here. And let's bring our hips back down onto our feet. So we're coming into this more relaxed position, seated position on the knees. And let's take 3 deep breaths here. Circulating that breath through the body. Okay, let me. Okay. All right. So we're going to lift back up into that position. So again, let's lift back up here. So we're going to try for another go of that camel position. So again, we're lifted up here. We're keeping our hips directly above our knees. So our big focus here is, again, pressing those hips forward. So as we're coming into that back bend, we're feeling our hips actively pressing forwards, almost like someone has tied a string or a belt around our back. They're standing in front of us and they're pulling us, which actually would be a nice physical assist for this pose. But that's kind of like what the feeling is like. Someone's pulling us forward. So again, let's get back into it. We're going to take the palms of our hands to our lower back with the fingertips pointing backwards. I like starting in this variation because I find it's a little bit more controlled when we're slowly lowering into our back bend and then maybe even coming into a full camel with our hands reaching down towards those ankles. So again, let's tuck the toes under because that creates, like if you're trying for the variation in that full camel, it makes it a lot easier when you have, this is sometimes like, 5 inches that we're closing the gap between versus it being flat. So sometimes that can just be a big help when we're kind of trying to reach. And again, there's no rush in coming into that full camel. You want to be comfortable and you want to be safe in this position. So we're lowering down nice and slow, activating those core muscles, slow, controlled movements of the body. Okay, so again, very slowly opening up the chest to the ceiling, coming into that back bend, maybe relaxing the head backwards, feeling those hips pulling forwards. And then you can see if you can drop one hand down and then the other, coming into the full expression of this camel pose. And if you have your hands lowered down, very slowly bringing one hand and then the other back onto the lower back. Slow, controlled movements, lifting up. Our head is the last thing to arrive, Dristi looking right in front. And releasing back down into this seated position on the knees. Let's take 3 deep breaths. And from here, we just see what we have for time. Okay, great. So from here, we're going to be stretching our legs straight in front of us. Yep, and let's scooch our hips all the way up the mat here. And we're going to slowly roll down into a supine position. So slowly rolling down until our back is fully relaxing down into the mat. Keeping our legs bent here. Allowing those muscles in the back to relax, releasing any tension here. And from here, we're gonna pull our knees in towards our chest, wrapping our arms around our leg. Nice hug here, and just very gently rocking side to side. And from here, we're going to come back to stillness in the center, opening up our arms out to either side of our body. So straight out to the side, fingertips are pointing away from us here. And very gently, we're just lowering our legs over to the right side, allowing the legs to fully relax and release down onto the floor. So you can lift that left shoulder up if you want, kind of rolling onto the right side of the body. Here, this isn't like that full, really intense spinal twist. This is just a very gentle, more relaxed, restorative style spinal twist where we're allowing all of the muscles in our body to relax. And we're mainly targeting the lower back area here. And as we're slowly starting to wind down our class here, it's good to focus on making sure we don't have those monkey brains turned on. So we have our mind focused here, kind of trying our best to keep out any of those outside thoughts. Just allowing ourselves to be as present as possible here, as we're slowly winding down, moving towards our ending meditation. Again, slowly lifting these legs up through the center, and over towards the opposite side now. And again, doing whatever you need to get nice and comfortable in this position. Slowly lifting back up into the center, giving our legs another hug. And slowly releasing our arms down to the mat. Slowly stretching the legs straight down. So we have our palms flipped facing up here. We're keeping our feet together and then allowing our hips to relax so our toes are slightly rolled out. So this is our classic Savasana or corpse pose. If this is really uncomfortable, the main purpose of this Savasana meditation is to allow you to get as deep into meditation as possible. So if it's better to have the legs bent, or sitting up or whatever. So just kind of finding a nice, comfortable, meditative position here. And allowing the body to fully relax. So we have the eyes gently closed. Maybe rocking side to side a little bit, or doing whatever you need to allow every muscle in your back and those shoulder blades to relax down into the mat. Maybe taking a few deep breaths here. And with the exhale, blowing that wave of relaxation down your body. Slowly winding the mind down into this Savasana meditation. Allowing the mind to be completely at peace here. Clear, yet open to receiving downloads of new information, wisdom and intuition. And as you lay here in this meditation, envisioning a bright white ball of energy shining right above your body. This ball of energy holds love, healing, warmth and strength. So here we're feeling that energy shining down upon our bodies, welcoming the warmth that it holds, feeling that warmth shining down on your body. Feel it touching your skin, soaking deep into your pores, into your physical body, but also into your mind, allowing this healing light to cleanse you emotionally and mentally, cleansing your mind, purifying your body, and connecting you to spirit, higher power, or whatever you believe in. And giving yourself this time to really connect and allowing yourself to be open here, to completely open to receiving this healing and loving energy, soaking it deep down into your bones, deep into your core. Welcoming that light, welcoming that strength, feeling it glowing down into your soul. And here we're gonna slowly start to bring our awareness back into our physical bodies. So maybe wiggling the fingers or the toes, bringing some movement back into your body. And whenever you feel ready, slowly rolling onto your side body for a nice, slow, gentle transition here back up into a seated position. So we're going to take our time here in this side lying position. And at your own pace, slowly rising up into a comfortable seated position, keeping those eyes gently closed, staying in this meditative state. So here we're gonna bring our hands into prayer at the heart center, gently bowing the head down. And we're gonna bring our awareness back to that earlier imagery from our Savasana meditation. So once again, we're visualizing that bright ball of shining, healing energy. But this time, we are feeling it deep within our center or our core. And here we are reminding ourselves that we have the power within ourselves always to heal ourselves through movement and nourishment. We have the power to give our body what it needs to come into perfect a perfect state of homeostasis. So remembering this bright ball of healing energy whenever you feel in dis-ease, under the weather, emotionally or physically within your body. Remembering that you always hold within yourself the power of healing, and that you can also share that gift with others. Sat Nam and Namaste. All right. So congratulations to Ange for winning this month's drawing for the Stick of Palo Santo. And we will be doing class next Thursday. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their night.